Hello! In this video, I'm going to show you how to use World Machine to generate height maps and color maps for your low poly terrain. Let me switch over to World Machine, which you can download, I think, at worldmachine.com. And you can download a free version that will be plenty sufficient for our low poly terrain. I'm going to delete all this default stuff that we don't need for the moment. There. Comments are great. And I'll just take you through some of the basics of World Machine. I won't go into too much detail. There's plenty of tutorials out there on World Machine. I'm just going to focus on generating the maps that you need for the low poly terrain system. So World Machine has a preview of the terrain that it generates right here in the corner. You can see it. And as you click on different elements, it will show you what the world looks like at that stage. You have three types of element: generators, modifiers, and output. And output is basically, writing data to file. Generator, like this one, is a random generator, or you can have all kinds of generators. I can create here a cone of some kind. I can blend those. I'm going to show you how to do this. Double clicked on the Perlin generator. I'm going to change the scale a little bit because I want more definition. There we go. I can use different random seeds till I find one that I'm happy with. Let's say I want this one. Ooh, that was cool. I want this one, and I'm going to combine this and this. Just for the sake of making something not trivial. I'm putting a combiner. I'm going to connect the Perlin noise generator there and the radial gradient there. I'm going to move stuff around a little bit. Get rid of this. Oh, wrong. Oh, I can't undo. Anyway, I wanted to delete this. Delete. I'll do that again. Combine. Whoops. There we go. Connect this. There we go. I'm going to change the method of combining those two. So I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to make the strength pretty high. And you see, as I change it, it's subtracting the radial gradient from the Perlin noise. You can see the result here. You can actually build and go look at the world in more detail right here. Yay! So anyway, now I'm going to use one of the coolest filter in World Machine, which is the Erosion tool, which I'm going to plug in line right here. And you can see it doesn't look like it makes much of a difference, but if you look at it, build first, there we go, and then look at it in 3D, you see more of like the sand sort of running down the hills and the slopes. You can actually make this much more significant by adding a big filter. There we go. Now let's look at this. Build. See, a lot of huge difference. Anyway, I actually want to add another effect before that. I'm going to do this one, terrace, because it's cool. Look at that. It made a cool terrace. And then when I combine that with the erosion, which probably need to tone down some at this point, there. Let's see. These things get sort of hairy. Build. Look at that. That's kind of a cool environment, right? All right, erosion, and now I'm going to get rid of this one and connect this to my output. Specify the file that I want to write, so I'm going to write a BMP. It doesn't really matter because Unity can read all of these. Go tell it where I want to save my file. What was it? Where was it? Low poly game. There we go. Assets. I'll just put it right here. Save. Okay. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna call it something else. I'm gonna call it height. 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 All right. Now I will build. Export terrain. There we go. Export. Build everything. Export everything. Now my file's exported. I can go back in Unity. I will, you know what? I'll create a new terrain object. Just delete this. New low poly terrain. There we go. And I will specify my height map right here. And I'll generate the mesh. So we won't have any color because I haven't made a color map yet. But we'll see the shape of the terrain. And there it is. This cool looking terrain. Faceted terrain. Alright, so now how do we get a color map on there? Well, that's easy. We have tools in World Machine that help us generate a color map. And they're actually right up here in the macros. I believe it's basic coverage. Yeah, I think that's right. There we go. And we just need to connect the height input, and this is the erosion, which I believe is, I don't know, it's one of these three. We can play with it, doesn't really matter. You can see it generated a weird texture here. Let's look at it. So notice how it's not 3D, right? Because this is not a height map, it's a color map. However, there's a way to look at it on top of the terrain. Fortunately, World Machine added this overlay view to which you can just simply connect a height field and color map, and now you can see the terrain with the color map overlaid. That's kind of a cool color map, but we're going to actually change the settings. Double click on the coverage macro and change some of the colors. Let's say I'm going to invert it. There we go. Change the vegetation color to something else, maybe more green. Okay. Maybe the rock more gray. That's kind of neat. And then this sand thing, I don't know, we're just going to pretend it's dirt or something. Maybe. No, it doesn't work very much, does it? Let's see, maybe this helps us. Interesting, isn't it? It's kind of cool. But anyway, that's good enough. Let's look at it in here. Oh wait, wrong overlay view. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of cool. All right. So let's now save this color map, which we need to add an output for, and we have, you know, height output, which was this one. We want to use the bitmap output. So we'll just put a bitmap output, connect it, the bitmap, set the file name, which we'll just call it color. There we go, BMP's file. Build everything, export everything. There we go. And now we have right here a color map. Let's assign it to our vertex colors and regenerate. And there we go. We have a kind of a cool white terrain. Let's see where our aircraft is. Is it? It's in the ground. Let's move it up some more so it doesn't fall. Let's try this. Alright, this is pretty cool. So one of the great advantages of using a tool like World Machine to generate your maps is that if you need to make a change, you can just make the change, and then all your maps get regenerated, and they all always match. You can always go back, you can change everything. For instance, this radial gradient, I want to move it. To do this, I can go to the layout view, I believe. There we go. I have to remember how to use this thing. How to use this thing. I want to select... Oh god, that's the thing. This view is not particularly easy to use. Select. Nope. Let me see. I don't know what this... Oh, there we go. Let's say I want to move it. There we go. Move it to the corner. And now if I go back to the combiner, oops, sorry, we should see that didn't work so much. Let's try that again. Combiner, there we go. Sorry, something didn't update. Now the hole is right here. You know, and you can look at it in a different stages. There's the terrace, and then there's after the erosion. There's the coverage map. There's our overlay view. We can build and look at it. It looks awesome, right? We can, you know, well, we already built. We can re-export everything. Go back here and just regenerate our terrain. Regenerate. And there we go. We have a new cool terrain. Same thing with the colors, right? You can change the colors, regenerate, etc. I highly recommend World Machine. It's extremely useful. So let's, for instance, try to add some trees, right? A tree placement map to this. Let's say we want to add trees to the green areas up here, right? Not really on the slopes, not really in the bottom, or maybe we'll place different trees on the bottom, right? So let's do that. Well, we just go back to World Machine, and we just want to generate a new map. We're going to start with the result, probably the result of the terrace output. And what we want is to generate a grayscale map, which is the same as a height map as far as World Machine is concerned, right? A grayscale map that has high density up here at the top and like almost no density anywhere else. The way we're going to do this is with a filter. We're going to filter on, where is it? Where is it? Oh no, sorry, select. The selector. We're going to select on height, right? So we're going to grab the output of the terrace, put that on the select height. And you can see this is a grayscale. And we're going to select the things that are up high at the top. So we set the two sliders right fairly high, I think. We can set the fall off to be, you know, pretty hard or not. I think this will work. Let's do this. There we go. That's pretty high. Select the height, and then we can just output this to a not a bitmap because we want a grayscale, just a height output. So there we go. And this is going to be, let's do PMP, set, nope, not here, projects, low poly game, assets, and I'm just going to call this trees 1, right? Do this. Build world, export all, done. Okay, terrain hasn't changed because we haven't done anything, but we'll add our low poly terrain object. We'll add, well, let's see. Up there, we're going to add some of these tall trees. These two, there we go. And then for the map, we'll grab this map, put it right here, and generate. And there you are. You can see how it generated trees up here everywhere. So there's too many trees, and also there's a bunch of trees on the rock, the white rock, which we probably don't want. So let's fix that. Going here. So we go back in World Machine, and what we want to do is not just select on height, but also select on slope. So we want to exclude everything with a slope that is too high. So the way we're going to do this is add a select slope, connect the same output from the terrace. Then you see how it's only selecting flat-ish areas. Well, of course, this is all selectable, right? You can make it select really flat areas or really sloped areas, right? We want flat areas in this case, so actually very flat, fairly flat. And then we're going to combine those two. Oop, not this one. Nope. Combine those two right here by doing the multiply of the two, right? So by multiplying the two, when they're both white, the output's going to be white. When either one is dark, meaning either one says they don't want trees, then the result's going to be dark. And this is what you're seeing here. Let's build, export, and see what this looks like. Terrain. Let's regenerate our trees. There we go. See how they're all gone from the white areas. Much better, much better. We're going to change this density because it's a little too much. Let's do this. Generate. There we go. Wait, did I generate? There we go. Now, let's run it. There we go. And there you have it. Trees on the tops. But not towards the... where's the corner? Where was it? I lost it. Oh, it's over there. Alright, nothing in the brown areas down there. However, we can generate different trees in the brown area. Guess how we're going to do this? Well, we're going to repeat this process, but select something different. Don't know if I can copy. Copy? Let's try this. Paste. Oh, yes. All right. So there we go. We'll do the same thing. Change the height, the output, trees 2. Change the height, right? We don't want the stuff up high, we want the stuff really low. There we go. See how this is selecting sort of like the bowl. Same thing, we want to ignore the slopes and the result. See the result, this is the bowl, this is ignoring high slopes. And this is our right output. So let's just build everything, export, switch over, and add another terrain generator. There we go. We got a second terrain. We're going to use different trees for this one. Let's say dead trees. Wrong. This was this guy. Not sure what happened. There we go. Dead trees for this one. So one here, one here. Set our texture to be trees 2. Probability Set it down a little bit, and we can generate. And there we go. We have dead trees on the bottom, live trees up here. Let's run it, and we can look at it. Let me make it. Where were they? I think I lost them. There we go. There we go. Dead trees. So there you have it. I can't recommend World Machine enough. You know, if you've dealt with generating your own terrains with Unity, you probably know about World Machine. If not, you absolutely should use it. And if you're using it, if you're using low poly terrain, you should definitely use it. It will make your life easier. Thank you for watching.